Good morning, everybody. It's almost the 4th of July. It's the last day of June, so it's our last Friday live for the month of June.
Ah, I guess we could start with the end of the month. I've been starting to work on my end of the month stuff. June was my huge, like twice a year, I go through all of my business stuff, and I've been working on creating a dashboard. I'll give a teaser for that, because it's going to be released to the bundle group for
Yep.
included in the bundle group. But if you're not in the bundle group, it's going to be like a downloadable. So we're going through. I have our friend Casey kind of tweaking and adding. We got some scrubbing to do on it before that, but went through and looked at Q1, Q2. Um, Analyzed all the data, figured out how to do QuickBook budgeting. What else did I do? What I had some goals. I'm sick right now. So not quite all there in the head. I've had 2 shots of Dayquil and 2 cups of coffee, and I'm trying to function like a normal person. It's not very good, but let's see here. So I wanted to create a dashboard that had all of my metrics for my Amazon business kind of conglomerated into a nice visual display. There was that. I needed to do a resume because my husband was like, "You haven't done a resume in 10 years, blah, 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 blah." That's how he sounded, really. And so I started putting something together for that. I'm not putting too much work into it, but it's always good to have a resume on file. So that was one of my chores to do. What else did we do this month, Tina? We went through a lot of things, a lot of business analyzation.
Yeah, well, Lucy and we have been working for over a year on our numbers monthly on spreadsheets and I really love the visual graphs and colors and charts. So you can see the bar graphs going along, so you can see the peaks and the valleys, because that jumps out at me. I'm a visual person. And so the
Yeah.
spreadsheet we always worked with were just numbers, just yes. And so I've been really wanting to learn to program Google Sheets, but it makes my brain tired. I hate stuff like this. Lucy, however, my best buddy, can do crap like this. And so I've been asking her for months and months and months if, I want to see it like, like this, what she made. And so Lucy spent an afternoon. This would have taken me weeks to learn how to do this. And she boop, 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 just put this together. And I absolutely love it. So it's all the numbers that we currently run. It's what we've always worked on. But now I just have this beautiful at a glance chart that Lucy has created. So those of you in our bundles, you will be getting this for free once Lucy is ready to release it to you. It's awesome. So cool.
Yes. So I like that I can sit here and visually see, and Casey's working on helping me populate this with numbers right now. But we were like, what do we look at? Because I mean, Tina and I, we sit down on January and in June, and it's now that we've dialed it in, we don't have a whole lot of tweaking to do. But I'm like, I want to see all my sales, obviously, at a glance. I want to see my production, which is I track with my inventory lab. It's kind of taking the same spreadsheet we've been working on, but now just conglomerating it into something nice and
Into little
visual.
organized boxes. But
Yep.
when you scroll up above there, how it shows those going across, like you can see the growth, of sales versus 2023 sales, the sales by year totals, by the months. I love it. I love it. I love seeing that.
Then I've been really like my one goal for business, and I put my goals down, and then I do them by priority. That's why my resume was done yesterday. It's the least priority in my June to dos. But my first was to get my QuickBooks, learn how to do a budget in QuickBooks, and then learn how to like take that budget and analyze it on a monthly basis. So Casey uses, I think she just uses Inventory Lab and you use Xero. So we're going to put examples of all three down below, and then you can do according
Really,
to
it's
whatever you want.
irrelevant is what the software is. I mean, instead of saying P&L QuickBooks, it could just say P&L. I don't know,
Yeah, so we
whatever
got some
software people
cleaning up to
use.
do for sure.
Yeah.
Same with colors. Like we're not 100% on the color scheme. We're kind of playing around with the color scheme. Anyhow, then Tina and I, we've always looked at definitely our payouts and labor, but I really wanted to dive into storage fees and advertising because they've gone up so much over the years. So
Yes.
that's on there. feedback IPI. And then down here, this is one where I had to learn how to do a query. If you want to see the structure of the query, you'll have to maybe pause and dive into it. But what it is I can now pull from when I pull inventory, supplier, profitability, and dump it into this sheet, it then summarizes my profitability by store. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, okay, I've got 5 hours this Sunday. I'm going to go sourcing. Where do I go? Well, I can look at this and say, where were my profitable stores this year?
My best luck store is usually here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was it in 2022?
Yep.
And see what stores.
And this was a feature I asked Lucy. Lucy's like, what else would you want me to put on here? And I told her this. I said, I would really like to see my profitability, by store. And she's like, oh yeah, that's great. And then 10 minutes later, she was like, here, I put it in here.
It wasn't 10 minutes. And you wanted
it. It felt like it. And then she amped it up a little bit by saying, and I've programmed it to make it the store highlight green if you've made over, I forgot, what was that dollar amount?
$50.
If you made over $50, that store highlights in green. And if it was under $50, it highlights in red. But that also painted a picture for me. So for me, it wasn't that, oh, well, that store sucks because I've made $50 or less at this store. Sometimes it's because I forgot about it, or I haven't bought from that store in a while, or maybe I made under $50, but it was just a store that had an item that I tested and maybe only bought one of them. So, the red draws you in, not to dismiss it, but to take a look at it. Sometimes you can write it off like, yeah, I've tried this store out a few times and it's just not working out.
Right. And maybe it's a store that, it's all the data is going to be just up there and summarized. So it will be nice and neat to look at on a monthly basis, which means today or tomorrow I'll be populating for June. I'm rounding up, cleaning up my desk end of the month, cleaning up my paperwork, populating all our numbers end of the month stuff. So good morning. I want to say good morning to Nate, Armand. Armand, what are you talking about? SNL RIP. SNL. I just Googled
yes, it. SNL rest in peace is what he's saying.
I know,
and
but I just Googled it. There's nothing going on.
Well, he means small and light.
Oh, that's what we're going to talk about. I was worried about. Look, oh my God.
Look, even after all her caffeine and NyQuil, she's still not right. This is why you have me. We have her to make cool Google Sheets that do really cool stuff. And you have me to keep her in line. Yes. Small and light, rest in peace. Yes.
If you take away my weekend update, I will be very upset because Colin and Jen, I would marry either of those guys in a heartbeat. Those are my two favorite guys. The SNL nightly news.
Oh, the Saturday Night Live guys.
Saturday Night News guys. I love both of them. I'm not sure which one more. It teeters. It just depends on their lines on which one I love more.
So but Armand almost gave you a heart attack when he thought you.
I know. I was really freaking out there, Armand. But we will talk about small and light. And I pulled this from Nate from Hustle Buddies. But anyhow, I was trying to say good morning, Nate, Sherry, Armand, Reno. Good morning. This was, I thought Nathan really summed it up really good. I was going to pull from Amazon, but Amazon's like blah, 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 blah. And you got to interpret and you're like, what are you doing, Amazon? And I don't have the brain power. So he summed it up nicely here. Prices under $10 are getting automatic fee reductions. Reduce the fee is about 30 cents more than previous small light enrolled items, but about 70 cents less than items under 10 but not enrolled.
Yes. So if your item is priced at $10 and under, what it's saying is that the fee is reduced to 30 cents more than if it had been enrolled already. If it was never enrolled, how a lot of people didn't even know about small and light or never utilized it. It's now going to cost 70 cents less in fees than it did for them. So for them, it's great. It's like, oh, wow, I'm now making more money. But The bad part is the items that were between the 10 and 12 range, which was just released this year and has been great, that we were now able to bump up our small and light items that were or could enroll them. We could bump them up to the $12 range. Now that's being taken away. So it didn't last long. We had it and now it's gone.
And I think this correlates just in par with the new rates at the UPS store, which let me see if I can bring up that. Let's see here.
And like you had mentioned yesterday in Messenger, how ticked off Inventory Lab must be because they just programmed Inventory Lab to account for small and light, and even on their new Scout X Amazon or Chrome plugin extension, it's factored in there as well. So Inventory Lab went to recalibrating their whole software to account for this small and light for Amazon to just change it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very irritating. I'd be irritated if I were them. And I think they did a major mess up. They were trying to do that program to promote and kind of, there was a lot of inflation and everything going on. So they were doing that to accommodate the inflation and stuff. And then all of a sudden, now they're taking it away. So they must have been losing too much money.
Right. So, I mean, the fee difference isn't the end of the world for the items $10 and less. It's almost what small and light used to always be when it was $9.99. So it's not a huge difference. But what really stinks is the $12 items that were allowable for small and light. That's going to be a big game changer for several things in my Amazon account because I really had created quite a few listings and very inexpensive bundles that were priced at that 12, and with small and light on there, I was making 100% ROI, if not more. You can profit on low dollar items. Everybody seems to think that you always have to sell 20, 30 or higher, or flipping shoes. Look, there's items that cost me minimal, $5 or $7 to list on Amazon that I have 100% ROI, which is equal to if I had bought a pair of shoes for $40 with all the fees and the sizing. So there's a lot of different business models out there.
Yes, which we will talk about more later. I did want to say, Flip Nation, what WTF? Exactly. WTF. Yep. I'm loving it. We will circle back to you in just a second. I wanted to bring up, because I have a feeling it is directly related to the rates on the postal rates changing. Now, if you are on Instagram is awesome. I feel like there's more of a reseller community over on Instagram than there is on Facebook, but I don't know. I have a lot of friends over on Instagram, and one of them, who I wouldn't say is a friend, but I've been following Casa Chic store, and she always puts out a tip of the day. I love her tips of the day, so shout out to her. She doesn't know me or anything, but shout out to her. And she summed up the postal rates really good, and I shared that in our group this morning. But they are going to be, let's see, our priority are getting up to $4.83 cheaper, so that's awesome. First class and parcel is now going to be called Ground Advantage. I don't know why we're renaming things, but renaming. The slower 2 to 5 day delivery stays the same. They're just changing the names. Ground Advantage rates under 1 pound are staying the same, but for packages over 1 pound is mixed. Some rates are increasing up to $1.06, while others are decreasing by 3. Medium rates are increasing 7%. So somebody commented 30 days to update listings on eBay. All of these changes are coming down the line, and we need to just respond accordingly. It is what it is. We can't change it. Sherry, I
did what Sherry said. I felt it deserved to be shown.
Yep. Let's see here. I have a lot of items in the 10 to 12 range. Now they will be in the $11 to $13 range. Exactly. Yes. The easiest way I do this is I go to my inventory, and then you can either export it or whatnot, and sort by, do a simple search and sort for the price range that you're looking at, and then go ahead and get them.
Yeah, so some of you will definitely need to check on that to make sure you're still profitable if you were enrolled in Small and Light. I will say all of my items are profitable without Small and Light. I buy them that way. I create the listings that way. So all it's going to do is just like Sherry said, I'll probably raise my price $1 on all of those. If Amazon, or not if, when they take this away, which is August 20, it's 28th, 29th. I can't recall the exact date.
Hold on.
But this fee change takes place
29th.
towards the end of August. I want to say it is
August 29th.
29th. Okay.
Yep.
So August 29th. So you have until then to be able to go through your inventory and adjust accordingly, or put a note on your calendar, in your phone calendar, wherever you keep your notes, to make sure that by mid-August you're on top of it.
Excellent. Excellent. I got a message on the spreadsheet. It will be for sale. If you are part of our bundle group, it will be included in the bundle group. But if you are not in the bundle group, it's just going to be a downloadable. And I got to figure out how to actually do that, because I've never done that before. But we wanted to say in our bundle group, we will be starting the back to school bundle course, or I don't know.
Right after the 4th of July. And I really put a lot of work into it. I'm not completely done because I'm trying to make some nice slides to go along with it. But I have a lot of really great information in there. I'm really excited about it. I've been working on it for quite some time. I have lots of links to stores to source from for ideas. And these are not the main stream stores like Walmart's and Target's. And I will also be doing some live walkthroughs in the stores, looking at back to school once they hit the shelves, which most of you know that after 4th of July is over, that's when Walmart starts really marking down clothes. Target, Walmart, all the stores really start marking down toys. There's going to be toy clearance sales going on everywhere. Barnes and Noble, the bookstore, is notoriously known for, in July, also having tons and tons of markdowns, not just on books, but Barnes and Nobles also sell toys. So pretty much all stores across across all the land, all the websites, all of the brick and mortar stores. July is your biggest month of clearance and markdown. So it's a great time to shop for things for Q4, but also beware, because everybody else is shopping those sales too. So sometimes what you think is going to be a great deal and a great flip on a toy, for instance, ends up tanking and being crap because everybody and their mother that sells on Amazon also bought those same clearance deals. So be clever in your choices. Last year, I got a bag of clothes and everything cost $1 at Walmart. I got shorts and tank tops and shirts, all for $1 an item. Do you remember that, Lucy?
Yeah. They didn't have anything. You didn't.
This shirt is one of them, actually. I got it for $1 at Walmart.
And there's going to be, we have Prime Day. We have all of those sales going on. So it's a good time. I don't know if I'll be doing any Prime Day shopping or Prime Day sales. I haven't thought that.
I never do. I tried it in my early years and I didn't notice diddly squat. So I leave my prices the same, Prime or no Prime.
Sherry says she's already seeing it at the Dollar Tree. Awesome. Nice.
I was at Dollar Tree a couple days ago. They just had their usual school stuff out. I didn't see anything new yet, but I swear some states put their stuff out a lot faster than other states. I noticed that in Facebook groups when people are at the Dollar Tree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I've talked to stores, because I'll have one store that has it and the next store that doesn't. And they're like, yeah, our truckload was late or whatnot, trying to figure out their rotation on when they get stuff. Same with Kohl's. I try to see what their rotation is, although I haven't been to a Kohl's in a while. So Lovin' It says, hi ladies, good morning. When you create a listing on Amazon, do you have to take your own pictures of the product? You have to provide pictures for your listing that you are making. However, whether you get stock photos from your vendor or take them yourself kind of depends on what you're selling. When I was doing Bath and Body Works bundles, Bath and Body Works got on me with copyright problems for using their stock photos from their website. Now, I've been able to win every case, but it was a huge pain in the butt. So clearly, I don't want to do that again with Bath and Body Works. So I will either take my own pictures or go find them. There's a lot on the internet of just somebody taking a picture that I can borrow and fix up for my listings. Now, there's other ones that they don't care. If I were going to sell, I don't have any good examples.
Get that hand lotion. It's always the hand lotion.
Yeah. If I were going to, let's say, sell Hershey candy bar and make a s'mores bundle, I'm going to just grab a stock photo of a Hershey's bar because it's on every website out there. It's on Safeway and Kroger, on every grocery store. There's a million listings out there with the stock photo of a Hershey bar. I'm not going to take my own Hershey bar picture. It will never be as good as the professional stock photos that have been taken. So you kind of got to know when to take your own and when not to take your own.
You can edit it in Canva. I am a big lover of Canva. There are other computer softwares in which you can edit photos as well. And I know people use different softwares. I just personally love Canva. I pay for the professional account. I use it for all things. I love it.
I will say this, you will never get in trouble for taking your own photos. If you want to be 100% perfect, you will always take your own photos. I like using stock photos. They're just better images. They're better than what I'm going to do. And so if I know that I'm not going to step on any toes by using the stock image, then I will use the stock image. And the way I look at it is if Hershey bars want to be known everywhere, right? They want to be known everywhere. They know that there's different bundles and different things. They are out to make a buck. And if I put myself in that company's shoes, I would want Lucy's bundle selling well with stock photos versus, let's say, Tina made hand soap and I'm going to steal her stock photos. Tina is a small business owner. She might not be as cool with it. So you'd want to get permissions and whatnot. So definitely look at whose toes you're stepping on when you are stealing photographs out there. Armand says, I'm in the process of filing a trademark. Do you ladies recommend Trademarkia or Trademark Engine or just filing it yourself? I filed mine myself. So
File it yourself. It's not difficult. Just do it yourself.
Yeah, I don't have anybody to recommend or not recommend.
Yeah, and there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to do it. It's honestly so simple. You just go to the website, fill out the form yourself. It's easy enough to do yourself.
I thought so. And if you're in the bundle group, we have a walkthrough with screenshot by screenshot on filling that out.
I believe Armand just joined the bundles group last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Armand, go watch the video on that because I took screenshots of the entire process when I filled mine out and then why I chose what options so that you can make
the bundles group is full of a lot of stuff for those of you that have ever wondered about joining it. It's not just making bundles. I mean, we walk you through how to do advertising campaigns, like Lucy said, how to get your trademarking, how to do your brand name, how to create the listings, how to take photos. We brainstorm ideas. I can't even think of all of the things that we have had in bundles. It's really all things Amazon.
Yep. And all of the ins and outs. Oh my goodness. It's a lot. Okay, so we got other things to talk about here. I wanted to highlight your chore list because I think it's interesting. We all play with that work balance life, and Tina has a chore chart that I think is pretty neat. Would you describe it, and then I'll share with you while we keep up on chores.
So when I was raising my boys when they were kids, I had a chore chart because that's how I managed my house. I was super structured. My husband and I both worked full time. We were raising kids. They're in school. They have sports. And so our lives were very, very busy and I needed to manage it because I'm a type A personality. So now my kids are gone. I'm doing Amazon, working from home full time with my husband. You would think you have all the time in the world. I thought when I left my job to do this full time, my house was always going to stay spotless. I was going to cook meals every day and I was going to exercise. Because, hey, I'm at home and I get to work from home. That's what I fantasized the life would be like. Well, it's not. You end up with lots of boxes and inventory, and you end up working all of the time that you are not structuring your time. So I decided to make an adult chore chart for my husband and I. And I decided to make it kind of fun because let's face it, chores are not fun, yet we all have to keep on top of our laundry and grocery shopping. So I created a chore chart for us and I put it on our refrigerator. And we spend 30 minutes or less per day doing the tasks assigned. And my house always stays pretty clean. Like if somebody were to come over right now into my house, I wouldn't be embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I haven't cleaned. My house always stays neat. I wouldn't say model home, but very neat. And so I named the days. So I call it Monday Munchies. And that's when we do all of our grocery shopping and plan our menu for the week. And, like we do Wednesday wash. Today is Friday. It's the day I do paperwork. I call it Friday finance because I consider paperwork and bills and that stuff as a chore because it is. I mean, we have to stay on top of our finances. I will clean off my desk that day, anything that's related to doing bookwork, paperwork, chores, things of that nature. So I have created an adult chore chart and I feel like it helps manage that work-life balance. It, keeping the things that we have to do for life, our errands, our grocery shopping, our cooking, our cleaning, our laundry, because we still have to do that but we're at home all the time and we also have to work from home. So it is really a hard balance to keep.
I just thought that was neat. My husband doesn't like cleaning, like to the point where he just doesn't do it. So we have
Does anybody like it?
No, and that's what I tell him. Anyhow, we've fought about it for years, and now we have a lady who comes and cleans the house every 2 weeks, and she does the sheets, the bathroom, mop and sweep. She does all the core household work stuff, and then we're going through a spring cleaning right now because we were really busy in the spring and my husband's having surgery in August, so I want to get it done before he goes into surgery. And that is we're going to take down all the drapes, we're going to wash all the rugs, kind of do that, the big stuff. And I don't know, you just gotta, we've never had anything that we've been able to stick to permanently for very, very long, but it's always been somewhat similar. Just kind of depends on what our life is looking like.
Well, and look, I even get off on a wobble, but the thing is let's say I didn't do those chores for a whole week, minus, you have to still go buy groceries. When I get back to it the next week, things aren't that out of hand, right? Yeah.
Nate says Tuesday, Taco Tuesday is
right. Taco Tuesday.
What's your Tuesday cleaning?
Hold on just a second.
All right. And then she's also going to go into, we've got an eBay haul and we're going to talk about different Amazon business models. And we've got Carbon 6 coming next week. So I want to bring
Here's my chore chart. It's from my fridge. Here's my chore chart. So Tuesday is the bathroom and we call it Tuesday toilets. And Wednesday is Wednesday wash. That's when we do our laundry. I couldn't find anything to rhyme with Thursday, so it's very biblical. It's thou shalt dust. So Thursday is when we do all of our dusting, which is what I did yesterday. And while I was talking to Lucy on the phone, I was even dusting the laundry room shelf. I have a shelf in my laundry room that houses laundry detergent and fabric softeners and the things that go on that shelf. And it's funny that you have to clean the shelf that houses the cleaning things. But yes,
definitely.
Look, when you work from home and you don't have a warehouse, Amazon can feel like it has taken over your home. Now, for me, when I didn't have a dedicated Amazon room in my home, it was in my living room and partly in my kitchen and in my guest room. And it always made me feel anxious because I like a neat, clean home. And for those of you that do work out of your home, which I think a greater number of people work out of their home that than have a warehouse or a dedicated space, unless they have prep centers. And it's like you need to feel some sense of structure. It's hard to get your mind feeling clear and like you can work when you feel like you're surrounded by chaos. And equally, it's hard to relax, say on your sofa in the evening and watch a TV show when you have all of this junk over here, your death piles or your work. You really need to find a way to make your space make sense for you.
Absolutely. I definitely feel a difference when my house is a mess. Sherry says her sweet husband runs the Roomba every weekend. Otherwise, there'd be no vacuuming. What a
That really
nice.
takes a lot of work for him to run that Roomba, doesn't it?
All right, I want to just highlight for a minute next Friday. If you're joining us here, we will be going through Carbon 6. We've got them coming on the channel. They're going to give a highlight of all of their tools. If you go to their website, you can see they've got all sorts of different tools, seller tools. They have a Walmart platform thing that I have not checked out, but I'm super interested in. If I was going to go to the Walmart, they have one of the few people that have software for Walmart. Walmart's kind of it needs help. They've they've got just all sorts of things. They told me to check out the PPC Entourage for my advertising campaign, so that's what I'm checking out this week. But next Friday we will have them on, and that should be fun and exciting. I always love learning about what the software is and what can it do for you, and can I take two softwares and make it into one, or do I even need that software? And maybe I don't need it now, but maybe I'll need it later. So I'm liking that. All right, can you talk about your eBay haul, Miss Tina?
Yeah, so I need to make a video on my eBay haul. So I've been going out once a week. Sometimes I go to two stores a week and look for stuff for eBay, and I do it when I'm running errands. So I ran an errand the other day, and my husband and I decided to pop in to this little thrift store. And one thing I did is I went back to my old roots, and when I only sold on eBay, it dawned on me I used to sell a lot of these, lots and lots of remote controls, and they're usually very inexpensive at thrift stores. So I ran in to the thrift store and I bought three of them. One already sold. I listed them yesterday. One sold, and so my husband had to pack it up. But this one right here, for instance, this Kenwood remote control goes for around $35 on eBay, and I paid $1 for this remote control. So when if you are interested at all at listing on eBay, if you currently do list on eBay also besides Amazon, and want to run into a thrift store and don't know about remotes, on the bottom of remote controls where the names are, all of them have it. Every single remote control has it. They have this little model number right above the name. So this is a Samsung, and it has the numbers on it. So you would type in Samsung remote plus the numbers. Same with this Kenwood. It's RCRO609, or zeros, not O. But anyway, you would plug those numbers in when you're at the store, and you can check the comps and the sold listings. But remote controls can be a big money maker. They don't take up a lot of space in your house. Yeah, I mean, you could throw them in a drawer, and they sell very well. I made lots of money off remote controls back in my days when I only did eBay. I do have one other topic to talk about, Lucy, that I did not share with you.
Nope.
You said no.
I just mess with you.
I love it. I did post in the Facebook group, the main online Selling with Tina Facebook group last week, or earlier this week, a link to a different trade show. It was a trade show just for food. And I think it takes place in California. So I am on a lot of lists and get a lot of magazines for different trade shows. We always talk about ASD, and the other trade show that is always talked a lot about it's that Atlanta Mart, Home Mart. It's the one in Atlanta. I can't remember the name of it.
There's an Atlanta one. There's a Seattle one. I'm going to go to the Seattle one
right.
for sure.
And lots of states have them. There was one, and sometimes it's that same trade show, but they have different cities that they go to throughout the year. But there are trade shows for just people who do fish aquariums and fish things. And here is a trade show in this magazine. It's called Natural Products Expo East. And it looks like it is going to be in September in Pennsylvania. So, keep in mind that there are more trade shows than just ASD. And most people come to ASD, most Amazon sellers do, and the Atlanta Mart, because they are the most talked about. But there are a lot of other trade shows that are not always talked about. And I feel like these trade shows can be the sweet spot for finding really unique inventory. So Natural Products, these are going to be products that are going to be geared towards organic, clean eating, And a lot of people are really interested in organic type of products. The foods that we eat with all the chemicals and pesticides and things on them, they're killing us. I mean, this is the stuff that is truly, you know, killing our health. And a lot of people are getting more into wanting to grow their own foods. They always had been even before COVID, but during COVID, when people were home, and people were getting their own chickens and hens and planting gardens. Now, whether they've kept it up now, I don't know. But people really are taking a better look at their diet and their health. And so, with that being said, if you are selling those kind of products in your Amazon store, you could have a real niched audience in store for organic things, or foods that are geared towards paleo diets, things like this nature.
I was just gonna say, if you are struggling, like go to Google, and they've got so many things. And I would just put in trade show schedules and then your area and see what's going on. So I can see the Seattle Convention Center, what's coming up. We've got a Taste of Covington, some sort of jazz festival. There's an ice cream one happening next week that we were debating on taking the kiddos to.
It
Where
would be hard to sell it on Amazon, but fun to go eat.
Well, yeah, I know that's where you get sidetracked. I'm like, trade shows, wait, ice cream.
Yes.
Girl.
So this trade magazine, it's the free ones that come just like when you get ASD. This is called Natural Foods Merchandise, is the little magazine that was sent to my home because I'm on a lot of different wholesaler websites and get these different types of things sent. And if you are as well, make sure you're not just tossing those things in the garbage, because sometimes within these magazines are vendors, are suppliers that are looking to be at these trade shows. Another thing is then once you go on to these trade show websites, you can see what vendors will be attending. So you don't even have to go to the trade show to get a list of the different vendors. You can also organize it by what vendors are new this year. So these may be very new companies that haven't been hit with, all the Amazon sellers. Not to mention, a lot of these more obscure trade shows are not flooded with Amazon sellers in attendance looking to represent their product online. A lot of them are just hoping to get in grocery stores.
Yep. Nate says he grows his own vegetables. Yeah, I love we now have the farmers markets open. So the last couple of weekends we've been going to the farmers markets and getting our produce so that we can then portion it out. So I've had nice salads all week with fresh vegetables. I absolutely love the summer. Oh, next we've got on here, I think we wanted to talk about different eBay or different Amazon models, because I get that question a lot with people who are starting Amazon. And what I find is that they have watched somebody either a YouTube advertisement. I see it a lot on YouTube advertisements and or Facebook advertisements where they think the only thing that you could do on Amazon is either retail arbitrage or Alibaba private label. And I thought we'd dive into kind of the different models here. And you could do a mix of everything. A lot of people think they got to pick something and stick to it. But I think, Tina, I do all the models, don't you? I'm trying to think of
I do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, white label. I do not do any more importing, and I actually once dabbled in drop shipping. But yeah.
So maybe we should cover drop shipping first, because people get confused on that. In a general sense, you'll see out there that there's a lot of money to be made on drop shipping, but then drop shipping is illegal. Do you want to define it for everybody, or you want me to?
Well, with drop shipping, there is a dangerous way, and there is actually a safer way to drop ship. And I would say, and I know Lucy's referring to people that we have coached through Fiverr or through private coaching, is the number one people that come on there that want help. It's because they've watched these videos on drop shipping and they want to get set up with doing drop shipping. So if I were to list items on Amazon that I know are available on Walmart's website, once I sell it, then go on to Walmart, order it, and have it shipped to that customer. A lot of people are being taught to do this. This is a way to get your Amazon account banned. Do not do this. Now, on
And
the
Walmart.
other hand, right, and Walmart. And I have other sources that you can drop ship in a way that is legal, so to speak, on Amazon. For instance, I have some wholesale account companies, and you can ask some of them will do this, that do offer a drop shipping model. Now, sometimes you have to have pre purchased all of those things from them. They house it there. Once you sell it, they ship it to the customer for you, and they understand the rules to have it in a plain brown box, or at least the branding of their brand, which is what the item is on the box, and they can ship it to your customer for you. Now, that would be allowed. So, that would be the two different models, one unsafe and one a safe method. I guess, thirdly, there are now warehouses I have seen that will quote unquote drop ship for you. However, it's not that drop ship model, like I first talked about with Walmart, because you have already purchased those things. They're at this warehouse for you, and that company basically just fulfills your order. But some people refer to that as drop shipping when really it's not.
Uh, I wanted to highlight, if you go onto Fiverr and whatever the internet, you're going to see a lot of this, which is drop shipping on your Shopify store and or your Facebook store. And I actually looked into that business model because I was intrigued. It was featured on one of the YouTubers that I follow. They, for $10,000, which is pretty steep, they would set up a drop shipping store on your Facebook account. They did not touch your Facebook post or anything, but under your marketplace, they use that marketplace ID to set up the drop shipping store.
Yes.
And what they do is, it was interesting to learn the algorithm. They said that every Facebook user is, I don't know how to say this, like my Facebook marketplace number might be really good for the shoe category, and Tina's Facebook number might be really good for auto parts. So you don't know what that is. And what they do is they do all the drop shipping models for the different categories until they find which one yours is really good in. And then they tailor a drop shipping store based on that. So I thought that was interesting, the back end of Facebook. And I don't understand the coding enough to explain it, but you get the gist. These drop shipping stores are essentially going to this is the model. They go to Alibaba, they find an item, they figure out how to market it and advertise it based on either your Shopify or your Facebook, and they do that. Now, this type of model was being done highly on Amazon, and it is not a good model to do on
For
Amazon.
Amazon. Right.
You want to do it on Shopify or Facebook? I mean, you go run the numbers. I thought it was too risky. They said that they would get my money back and I'd start seeing profits within 6 months. Do I believe them or not? They looked like two 20-year-olds that like could take money and run within 2 months. So I wasn't very confident to give them $10,000. So I did not wind up doing that. Anyhow, so on Amazon, if you start doing that drop shipping model, the issue is the Alibaba sites. I mean, those manufacturers might be great. They may not. Some of the big issues were them going out of business, getting shut down with COVID, shipping wrong items, shipping really junk. One of the big things with Alibaba is a switcheroo. They show you a really nice coffee mug and then they ship absolute garbage once you've
They
said,
ship
yeah.
this.
Yeah, they ship something garbage. So you're opening yourself up to a ton of complaints. And let's say you do something and you launch really good and you've sold 200 items in a week and you're like, oh my God, this is great. Then all of a sudden you've got 100 returns and bad reviews and complaints. You will be shut down like that. That's why they implemented that IPI score, and all of the matrix that they have been implementing is because of that. People would set it up. they'd send out hundreds of orders. People would start getting those orders and they're like, this is garbage, negative, negative, negative. And they're like, we need to curb that. And it's good to know what causes the regulation changes and how to avoid all of that. For manufacturers, if you're going to set up a true drop shipping model with Amazon, it needs to be, I really feel it needs to be US based. There's just so many things that can happen when you start putting an ocean or
a highly
borders.
reputable supplier.
Yeah. If something gets stuck in the ports for 3 weeks in customs, your customers are screwed, and you're going to have so many complaints and your account's going to get shut down. It's not worth it. So if you're going to do private label drop shipping true in Amazon, you need to have it worked out with the manufacturer. And even if you're doing everything to the letter, all it takes is one customer to say, this was drop shipped, in their comments, feedbacks, or whatnot, and your store is going to be under scrutiny. And it's really hard to prove that you're doing it correctly with Amazon. You know how hard it is to do anything with Amazon. Right. Proving anything is beyond ridiculous. Last summer, I fought with Amazon for 3 weeks trying to get them to understand that you don't eat soap. They recategorized one of my soaps. I had like a hand soap as a dietary supplement, because they will go and randomly change your catalog classification to make it better. And they reclassified soap as a dietary supplement. And then they said, well, it has antibacterial properties. I'm like, yeah, because it's soap. And I cannot sell dietary supplements that have a claim of antibacterial. And 3 weeks with this argument. So
imagine arguing about a drop shipping claim. If you have to fight with Amazon that you do not ingest soap.
Yeah. Oh, the lady, I almost went through the phone line to punch her. She was like, well, you just need to, have a statement from the manufacturer explaining that you don't eat this soap. I said, are you kidding me? If I were selling a t-shirt, do you think I could write a letter saying you shouldn't eat your t-shirt? That doesn't even make sense.
Something should be common sense. Clearly, livid. You don't eat soap. Yeah.
Yeah, I was livid. So can it be done? Yes. I feel that those drop shipping models probably have the least amount of profit potential. The ROI on them is the least. Would you
agree
usually
with that? Very low. Yeah, 10% is average.
Yeah, you're looking at. I would definitely say 10% is the average ROI. We hate soap when we said bad words. Exactly. Oh,
I'll wash your mouth out with soap.
I think I might have used that line. I said, do you want me to have my mom write you a letter saying you don't eat soap? Because that's how basic I think we are here. I just let me your supervisor. Somebody that doesn't. Please send me to somebody that understands you don't eat soap, because arguing with you is just. I was just blown away. I'm like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation. Just can't believe it. So private label is definitely the least amount of ROI, highest amount of capital, and there's a lot of logistics in it. I see a lot of people get stuck in the shipping from their Alibaba to Amazon. How do I do this shipping? Who pays for it? How much is shipping? Those are all great questions that you're going to need to consider.
Do I have it shipped directly to Amazon? Do I have it shipped directly to me? Who puts the FNSKU label on it? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that go into doing this part of private label purchases from out of the country.
Yeah, definitely. I would also say that the mentality out there, guys, is that you can go to Fiverr and buy a great selling idea for a little bit of money and make thousands of dollars. I get that all the time. Would you research a product and guarantee me $5,000 profit per month or $1,000 profit per month? No. And if anybody out there is telling you that they're going to sell you a $5,000 profit item per month for $100, I've got some magic beans for you. I've got some magic beans in my drawer. You grow these beans and it will grow you money, and you just got to water it. And the beans only cost $100. I will ship them out today for you.
Yeah, and I know Lucy has spoken to people who have bought into these business models, and it breaks my heart. I spoke to one person last week that spent an exorbitant amount of money for a private label item like this and was very trusting. And I'm sure that that person sold it to all these other people who trusted them. And when I say an exorbitant amount of money, I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars to only have this item sitting in their garage now because it was flooded on Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and also being sold by the Chinese sellers themselves as well. And now they're out all of this money. And it's like, these are the stories that really break my heart. So please,
Oh, it's
use
disgusting.
caution, and as hard as it is to do your own research on these things, it's the safest for you to do your own research, and unless you can find somebody that you truly trust. um, that's just my word of caution on hiring people for things like this. Like Lucy said, you might as well buy the magic beans from Lucy for $100.
It's disgusting. And I think everybody needs to know that that's what happens out in the world, unfortunately. Um, so these people on Fiverr, on Facebook ads and whatnot that are going to do a product research for you and find openings in the marketplace. The way they are doing their research is through programs like Helium and Jungle Scout, and they are looking for opportunities in the marketplace. And you can do that type of research yourself. Please believe in yourself. We know you can do it. And don't spend oodles of money on somebody who has done that research and then sold that research to 100 people. And that's the
Yeah,
problem. They take that idea, they do that research, and they're very good at doing that research, and the opportunity is there, but then they sell that summary to 100 people out there, and now you've got everybody saying, "Oh my gosh," and they buy it all, and then the market gets flooded.
that's right. And the thing is Chinese factories are known for this.
Mm-hmm.
That when you've come up with this idea or this product and you go to a factory and have them make it for you, you send them the specs or you work with them to make the item, they now make it and they put it up for sale on Alibaba. And then that's how you find, your specially designed dog food bowls on Amazon, on all the platforms, Amazon Italy, Amazon India, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Amazon US, and you've got 100+ sellers on it on every country's platform, is because now that China factory has sold that to everybody else too. I've seen it happen more often than not. So just be really careful.
So the other retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, there is a lot of people that do that, and that can be very profitable. But there is a huge learning curve with retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. So if you're doing private label, do a lot of research. Just do a lot of freaking research with private label. If you're doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, go start joining groups. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be negative Nilly here and do all the downfalls. But with each business model, you're going to have different learning. With retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, learn how to look at Keepa charts, learn how to join groups. And if you're like, I don't know where to start, and you have no idea, there's a ton of YouTube content out there that will show people scanning and how to look at the rank and the charts and everything. There's also a ton of courses out there. I don't have any that I would recommend that are, I mean, if you want to buy them, but I don't have any that I would recommend. I would recommend buying a few OA sheets. There are single sheets, day sheets, category sheets out there.
And bolo groups and things
Yeah,
like that.
you don't have to sign up for a whole month or anything like that. But if you're like, I've never bought shoes and I want to learn how to do online arbitrage shoes, go buy one online arbitrage sheet and see, where are they sourcing from? Where are their sources? How are they getting those sources? You can get your own VA, you can join groups, or you can go put in the work. So
Yeah.
no
And then
matter.
experience. You'll get good at either RA or OA with
Mhm.
experience, so you are going to have some failures, but you're also going to have the wins. And that's what gets exciting is the wins. And then you want to do that again. So you start looking for like items like that again. And you're going to find where you're lucky at, whether it's shoes, whether it's in housewares. Start looking and scanning things that you like, whether it's online or in the store, it's irrelevant. And and when you start finding your winners, let's say it's soap, for instance, that's not antibacterial, start looking at all the soaps, at all the brands, at all the stores. Just start looking at soap. If it's, shorts and by a particular brand, and you got lucky with this brand, start looking at that brand exclusively. And you're going to start collecting all of these wins. And that's just, unfortunately, you building experience. And the only way to build experience is just do it. Don't go in debt or don't go broke over it. Set yourself a budget, and within that budget, experiment. Just
Yeah.
experiment.
I'm just I run into a lot of sellers that get frustrated, and I understand. I was in the frustrated part. I still am some days of
Yes.
struggling with both the logistics of Amazon itself. I mean, Amazon likes to change things overnight, like the small and light program that makes it difficult for us to keep up with what's going on in the world and the shipping fees. There's a lot going on just in Amazon without just the product research. And I see people getting frustrated, and you start talking to them and you're like, their level of thinking of how much work this is way down here, and the reality is it's way up here. They'll say, well, I scanned 100 things at the store. Come back to me when you've scanned 1,000 things. If you scanned 1,000 things and found one or two on your first go around, then you're doing pretty good. And I don't think people quite understand that. They think they're going to go into a Ross or Marshall's and find $300 worth of stuff in an hour, and that's not the reality. Is maybe $30 worth of stuff in the first hour that you do it, because you're new. You're just new. You don't know how to do it very well.
Yeah. I put up Sherry's comment because she says, don't pay for courses until you've absorbed a bunch of free info. And that's so true. You want to learn some of the basics with all that free info, or otherwise you'll dive into a course and you'll feel like a fish swimming upstream because you don't get all of the things that they're talking about. And I know Sherry is in our course.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what's causing the feedback. Nope, that's fine. Anyhow, I was privy into a wholesale course, and I'm not going to name names on what it was. And I was absolutely blown away at the cost of the course. And then their advice was call and search wholesalers. And I'm like, well, anybody can call. I could give you that advice right now, and I'm not charging a nickel for it. I mean, it's pretty common sense. You got to keep calling. And what they really honed in on was you've got to call hundreds. For every 100 that you call, you may get one that says maybe or yes. And then you've got to search their products and see if there's anything good to sell. It's the same with any of these things. So private label, lots of research. Wholesale, lots of time working with vendors and finding vendors and laying that groundwork and trying to see if the vendor sells anything profitable. With retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, you've got price tanking, you've got all the negatives there. So there's negatives to each one. There's a lot of positives to each one, but every single one is a lot of work. You're either going to be spending
All
a
of
lot of
them are a lot
time.
of work. None is easier than the other. And then it can boil down to, what do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy running around in stores and being out in the public and touching this stuff physically? Or do you hate being out and about? Do you prefer to get to be at home and you're not a social person or don't want to be bothered with people in a store, and you like looking at things on the internet and just being at home on your computer in some of it's just about what you like. What do you enjoy? And because you can find success with any of it, but do what pleases you, because if you don't like it, you're not going to do it. And unfortunately, not all aspects of doing Amazon is fun. You maybe don't really like doing the research, and because it makes your head hurt, but you actually enjoy prepping it and bagging it and printing off the stickers while you watch TV. You may hate that part, like but we have to do all the parts. So, I mean, do what you can tolerate the most, and parts of it you're going to love, other parts you're going to tolerate. It's just the name of the game. But it's that way going to your regular job too. You might like what you do, but hate your boss, or you may love your boss, hate what you do. I mean, nothing is perfect, right? Nothing
Nothing is
is
perfect.
perfect.
And we all have different things that we have more of. Some of us do better with technical. Some of us are better going and looking for deals out on the floor. Some of us have capital, some of us have time.
Yep.
And if you have more capital than time, then set yourself up a VA that can do these research for you. And then you have the capital to purchase said VA. If you have time and no capital, learn how to scan things cheap. I mean, Tina finds these things at the freaking Goodwill for like a nickel and sells them for $20 all day long. And I'm going, oh my God. You know, there's many of us who have been financially in a bind that need a low capital way of flipping. And there's opportunity online for that too.
Yeah, and if you have low capital, do eBay because you can build up money really quickly. I only will do eBay through the summer. I won't have time to do it during Q4 with Amazon, but it's fun to do it in the summer, and I don't spend a lot of time. I spend 1 hour in a thrift store a week and a couple hours listing. I mean, I really give it minimal effort, but just today I already had a sale this morning of an item for $75, and I had a sale of an item for $10. So just this morning I've made almost $100 in sales on eBay before fees and on items put together that cost me $2. So you can create capital this way as well. And then lastly, the business model is creating your own listings on Amazon, and creating your own listings on Amazon that prevent other people from getting on to your listing 99% of the time. That also requires research and all the things. I think bundles is a great way to either start your journey because you're not having to reprogram yourself, or it's a great way to add things into the mix when you're already a seasoned seller that is selling things that you know already sell well. And so you kind of have an idea of how you can bundle them. I started off my Amazon journey. I was less than a year into Amazon before I started creating my own listings and bundles, and I just enjoy doing it because I'm very creative, and it allowed me to be creative and put together things that I thought were cool. At the time, I wasn't even afraid of ranks, or am I going to say, I didn't even really understand ranks yet. So I wasn't paralyzed by them. I know that some people who have been selling on Amazon for a long time and have always just relied on Keepa and the rank chart feel scared to make their own listing. Well, it's not even really ranked well. How do I know it's going to sell? And I think for me, I'm fearless on that. And that's because I started doing bundles before I even understood rank and things like that. So, look, when you find a really great item that has a great keyword on it already, you will be able to sell more of your bundles than you won't be able to sell them. And to me, they're fun. But that's what bundles is for me. It's a fun way to express my creativity and put together stuff that I think is really cool or that I really like. And I hope that Amazon shoppers will think that it's really cool too. And then, of course, I hate when I have ideas that I thought were great and no one wanted it. I'm like, I put so much work into that. It was so like I'm almost like my feelings are hurt. Like, why don't they want it? Yeah. So, but I sell more of them than I don't. But not all of my bundles are successful. I'm not 100% successful in all the things, and you won't be either.
Well, and that goes for every business model. There's
Yeah.
just going to be some things that don't sell very well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sherry. What a nice comment. Highly recommend the group. So much information and support. Changed business for the better. That's awesome to hear. We love seeing when everybody posts their positive things. And with that, I will leave off with, I think, the most important in any of the business models you want to do, and you can do them all, is your attitude.
Yeah. Your mindset. So
That is
true.
the mindset. I have had to really, really kind of knock this into my head and it's from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read his book way back in the
Me
day, and
too.
the mindset was, you can say, I don't know how to do that yet. But don't sit there and say, I can't do that. I can't do that. I've tried. I can't. That I can't mentality is so limiting in your personal life, in your business life, in your career, whatever it is. It's I don't know how. So this month was I don't know how to use QuickBooks budgeting. I don't know how, I'm really not that great at business budgets. I really am not. And I wanted to change that. So I said, what can I do? What can I do as a person? Well, I can go and watch some videos, right? That's pretty free. I can watch the QuickBook videos. That's pretty free. And I can start diving into my QuickBooks and seeing what I can do. And now by the end of the month, I can now pull my budget and I can run the actuals against the budgeted information and I can put that into a spreadsheet and really analyze it. And I can also go pull the back end reports on what all those fees are in Amazon. Because, we got a lot of fees and it's getting used to pulling your storage fees and everything is something that I can do on a monthly basis and I can be more confident with it. So now at the end of the month, I am much more confident with my budget and running a proper P&L than my other spreadsheets that I was using that was not as inclusive with everything. So, I start off with the month with kind of a bad mental attitude of I can't do QuickBooks, it's too complicated. And now I'm ending with I'm certainly not good by any means. but I can go in there and I know how to pull the report, and that is a much better than I was at the beginning of the month. So there isn't much in this life that we can't do. We live in such a great opportunistic world where we have tons of crud for free between all of the YouTube and TikToks and internet out there. There isn't much. Like I got to go recharge the Freon on my car that we just got back on the AC. And had it been a different time frame, I would have said, yep, I need a mechanic to do that because I don't know how to do it. Well, I know how to do it. I got to go get her done. And it's empowering when you can take care of your own problems. You build that confidence up that you can then tackle the next problem coming up and take it with the waves instead of feeling like you're getting crushed with the waves. All right. What are you doing today, Tina? We got to wrap this up.
Going to go to the outlet mall, to the Disney store. The Disney store always around this time starts running good clearance sales. So if any of you have a Disney outlet in your city, I love going there at this time of year. And it's a great time to stock up on Halloween costumes because the Disney store sells costumes all year. And if you have a little capital, it's a great time to buy some costumes for October coming up. And honestly, people buy costumes year round. So that's what I'm doing. And finance, because you guys, my chore says it's Friday finance. So I will be doing paperwork today also. And I hope all of you have a great 4th of July because that we won't be back until after the 4th of July. So I hope all of you have great, wonderful, fun plans for the 4th. And I know you, Lucy, have some company coming, and I'm guessing you're going to be getting ready for them today.
Yeah. When I get off work, I got to get a big shipment out today because it is end of the month. And so at the end of the month, I have to tally everything in the office. So I'll be doing inventory today, wrapping up month end stuff. I do my paperwork on Thursday because I want Friday to be a little bit funner. I don't like
Friday fun
so
day.
yeah, Friday is my fun day. And yesterday I paid all my bills. I paid the VAs. I did my budget and kind of got that stuff out of the way. And today I can get this order out, do inventory, wrap it up, and then we've got company coming in town, so that will be fun. We are excited to have them over, and I'm not going to be in the office for like 4 days. I'll do some work from home, but I'm not going to. Yeah, lots of grilling. We're going to grill some burgers and some brats and something else. I don't know. We got to go to Costco tomorrow and see what's looking good for the barbecue.
And of course, Nate lives here where I live, and we will be having our record heat. It's Today is our last day of double digits, and when I say double digits, we are in the 90s, and we are going to be now starting, I believe, tomorrow in our 100+ degree weather for the remainder of the summer. So it's no fun spending time outdoors here in the afternoon. So I am assuming, Nate, that you will be doing early grilling.
Yeah, we are definitely in about the 80s, 85 here. And so we don't typically have air conditioning in houses. And we tend to grill because if you turn on the oven when it's 75 in the house, it's miserable. So 110. I do not miss that at all. All right, guys. I hope everybody has a great, stay safe out there. Stay safe.
And
That's the
have a
important.
happy 4th of July.
Yep, yep, yep. And anybody that's getting in the smoke, I know is really bad in certain areas. So I hope you all are breathing okay. I know I'm struggling with my cold, but shout out to
Yes.
those suffering from the fires.
And as always, thank you for joining us on Friday for those of you who hang out with us. And I do forget so often, and if you're still here with us, please like and subscribe to our channels, whoever's channel you're watching this on, be it Lucy's channel or my channel. Hit that like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithms. If you haven't subscribed yet to Lucy's channel, Reseller Mom, please do. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do, because while we do these YouTube lives together every Friday, we also do individual content as well. And so again, thank you for joining us. Happy 4th of July, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Take care.